Hello, Professor. My name is Eva Guevara Gutierrez. For my presentation project, I will be focusing on DACA, on what it is, going more into depth, and the process. Before moving on into what exactly the program is, we need to understand the statistics of the undocumented community. So there are around 11.96 million people in the country with no immigration status, meaning they haven't applied for residency or asylum applicants. The main countries of origin are Mexico, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, China, and also the Philippines. One of the main reasons I chose the topic DACA is because I am very familiar with the subject and the process. So, where I stand is that I was born in Mexico, but I have lived here for 20 years, and I am currently 21, meaning that I came to the country when I was 1. Moving forward, there are currently 660,000 total recipients, and almost half of them are Mexican recipients, which are people that are exactly in my shoes. So as you can see, I've broken down with documented immigrants and citizens versus undocumented. So with the documented, you have legal work, receive benefits such as 401k, you have a social, can attend school, and can apply for FAFSA versus undocumented who work under the table with 40% lower wages, long hours, no pay. They do make up 5% of the economy, no financial assistance, and the most important one is that they have limited opportunities for higher education. So, how did DACA get created and established? It was an executive action President Barack Obama stood for immigration rights and assistance. He tried to get the DREAM Act through, but that didn't work. Congress had some issues. So in June of 2015, he signed the executive order named Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. The main things were that they would attain work permits, which include social security numbers, and request consideration of deferred action for a period of only 2 years. What most people don't understand is that not everyone receives DACA. There are certain requirements, which are that you have had to have been under the age of 31 as of June 15, 2012, came to the United States before reaching your 16th birthday, have continuously resided in the United States up to 2017, were physically present in the U.S., had no lawful status on June 15, 2012, meaning that they haven't applied for residency nor they haven't applied for asylum. The biggest one are currently in school, have graduated, or obtained a certificate of completion from high school, and have not been convicted of a felony, significant misdemeanor, or 3 or other misdemeanors. Now, with the program DACA, there have been those assumptions that criminals and people that have been convicted of a felony get DACA, which is incorrect. Disqualifications, the biggest one is misdemeanors. Having a significant misdemeanor such as domestic violence, burglary, sexual abuse, as listed below, those disqualify you for DACA. Or having more than one misdemeanor. Each case is evaluated differently if a misdemeanor is associated with the applicant. So in order to be considered for DACA, you do have to fill out the application with USCIS. The application is called I-821D. This application does require a payment. That payment is totaling for $494. If you break it down, it's $410 just for the application and $85 for the biometric fee. This doesn't include attorneys or lawyers trying to assist you with the application. Those are separate fees. Along with that application, you do have to have correct documentation such as birth certificate, proof that you came to the U.S. before your 16th birthday, proof that you were a student or are a student requesting DACA at the time. So $500 for me might not mean nothing, but for someone else who is financially struggling and trying to maintain a family, it does. So the USCIS does provide waivers for people who are financially struggling, but they do have requirements. So for example, you were homeless before the age of 18 or under the age of 18, you do make 150% below the poverty line. Or you can go another route with seeking independent organizations. For example, here in Nevada, we do have Make the Road Nevada, which provides assistance to DACA applicants, and they do have scholarships to pay for that DACA application fee. Also, Mexican consulates do have assistance and can assist with applying and making the application for you and assisting. So the application is time consuming in a way, and it does differ from case to case, but regularly 2 to 3 weeks after filing, you will receive a notification that they received the application. After that 4 to 6 weeks of filing, they will send out the biometric appointment. They set it up for you, but if you have any complications, you do have to contact them to see if they can reschedule for a better time, which is not guaranteed. After that, 5 to 10 months of filing, if you do complete the process, you will get a letter of approval. After that, 6 to 10 months after filing, you will finally receive your work permit. So what exactly are the main benefits of receiving DACA? This statistical study was done at the University of California in San Diego by an organization called United We Dream. They calculated that 69% do have better pay, 54% move to a better job that fits their career choice, 56% move to a job with better working conditions. Educational-wise, 45% are currently enrolled in school, while 72% are pursuing a bachelor's degree or higher. So before the Trump administration, with the 2016 campaign, the Trump campaign, we had an understanding and we were sort of expecting for something to happen with the DACA program, since we knew that he wasn't in favor of it. So on September 5th of 2017, Attorney Jeff Sessions announced that the program would be terminated. They did have until March 5th until the program would be basically demolished. That was their expectations. That day, no new applications would be considered. Like I stated, March 5th would be the day that the Trump administration would introduce a new program. It was basically giving Congress 6 months to think of something and pass a bill for DACA, but that day never came. And that program and what Trump wanted never came. Being that the administration and Congress didn't introduce a new program for DACA, the program and the recipients were left in limbo. After March 5th, we basically couldn't renew, but somehow applications were still being processed. So till this day, if you do have DACA, you can renew it. Pelosi, the representatives prepared a deal. The deal was no wall, protections for DACA, and border security. But unfortunately, no deal could be agreed on by both parties, so we were still left in limbo and still to this day. So the announcement of the termination did have effects. For example, before August of 2017, there were around 105,000 requests still pending. Around 35,000 of those were new applicant recipients, 71,000 renewals, and approximately 150 permits were set to expire before March 5th. With the termination, there were two major problems. For the first one, going back to how many permits were set to expire, we can't just assume that these applicants can just grab up $500 and set their renewing applications. The other incident was how the post office delayed some of the applicants' renewals, meaning that they arrived at the offices after March 5th. So right now, DACA is a really hot topic in the media and news outlets because the Supreme Court is currently hearing oral arguments on whether the Trump administration's termination of the program was unconstitutional. The hearings recently started. They started in November 12th of 2019. We are expected to have a decision by spring of 2020. Uh, Renewal considerations are still being accepted and is highly recommended if DACA is set to expire in a year. The reason that I have this slide included in the presentation and why I want to make a note of it is because there are DACA financial programs, there are opportunities, there are states that are willing to help DACA students. I have the ability and the opportunity to be part of this great program, which is the Dream.USA, which is a scholarship. It's a full ride scholarship to one of the partner community colleges, which is listed on their website. Um, the requirements or eligibility, it's broken down into two. If you do have DACA, you are able to apply for it. If you don't, you do have to have no status. It's basically having that you were eligible for DACA and can prove it. There are two types of scholarships. The first one is the one that I'm associated with, which is the National Scholarship, which is $29,000 to a partner college for a bachelor's degree. So the partner college that I attend is obviously Nevada State. The second one is the one for DACA recipients who are in states that offer no financial aid to DACA students. It's called the Opportunity Scholarship. It is up to $80,000 for a 4-year bachelor's degree. It is, like I stated, only eligible for dreamers living in the state that does not provide financial aid to them, such as Georgia. With this does conclude my presentation. I will send the citation page through NSC Canvas. Thank you for watching.